You are watching the Global Gamers Invitational Tournament brought to you by iFixit. SCVs for the real world. The Handsome Nerd attire for the handsomest of nerds. And Esports United, sponsored by Intel. This broadcast is also made possible by CapochP, TeamLiquid.net, and of course, Blizzard Entertainment. Hello everyone and welcome back. This is the Global Gamers Invitational. I am Mac, here with Railcoon, and we at CapochP are proud to bring you what could be the final match in the series between Capoch, the green Protoss, and TT1, the yellow Protoss, here on Blistering Sands. Capoch is down 2-0. This is a best of 5, and the winner will move on to the semi-finals of this tournament. Once again, want to thank those sponsors: iFixit, SCVs for the real world, Esports United, sponsored by Intel, and the Handsome Nerd attire for the handsomest of nerds. So, like you were just saying, we are here on Blistering Sands. TT1's doing a great job holding Capoch's 4 gates off, so why mess with a good thing? Capoch chooses Blistering Sands and says, once again, I will harass 2 doors at once, can knock down those backdoor rocks, and make you waste force fields with impunity. So do you think Capoch is going to keep it up, or is he going to try and mix things up and he's faking the 4 gate by picking this map, then he'll go straight Colossus?
With this map being down 2-0, Capoch has been, trying to mix things up, but it still seems as like the 4 gate still his bread and butter, like his go-to move when he's behind. So being behind in this situation, down 2-0, I gotta expect to see that coming from him, because he has definitely the most practice with it. It's very scary. Basically on any map, TT1, even though he's fought it off 2 times, he's not going to be writing off any 4 gate from Capoch, because he is really good at controlling it. We are here on a new day. Hopefully Capoch is not lagging this time, and we'll see how this plays out. But if you watch the energy on the Nexus here from Capoch, it's starting to pile up. He's not chrono boosting again. So it looks like he's going to start saving that energy up to around the 80 mark like he has in the previous games. And is just going to move on to, basically his standard play, which is forward gate.
Yeah, so you are indeed correct. Tons of energy on that Nexus. Almost certainly going to be a warp gate. He'll be able to harass both sides of TT1's base. However, TT1 has been so strong with his Immortal play that I suspect he will be able to hold this off. That being said, this is a little bit different from Zelnaga. That wasn't it. Delta Quadrant. I mix up all the new ones. So TT1 will have a slightly harder job defending, specifically because the distance between the 2 entrances is considerably larger. In the other map, he had 2 choke points that he could force field. The problem is the choke points here are considerably further apart, so he can Capoch can quite easily get into that back door by the plants there. He can get inside, and there's all that space to work with. It's the other choke point he has a hard time getting up, so it's going to be just a little bit harder to manage. His opponent can get in the base faster, and I imagine that'll be hard for him to deal with.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because you said he did so well with those Immortals, but that's actually one of the things that's a liability if your back door gets broken down, are those Immortals. They're so slow that if you do go for the Immortals, your opponent's going to be able to outmaneuver you much more easily, bouncing between the 2 entrances. The Immortals will keep getting left behind. He'll be able to poke up, possibly do a little bit of damage before he can get in position, back off before you can force field him. People are really good at doing that, like Capoch can do a lot of damage doing that, and if he does go for those Immortals, then you can see that might actually wind up harming him a little bit more than it might hurt, as we see the 4 warp gates in progress for Capoch. They're going to finish up right about when that warp gate tech finishes. Just like the previous games, he's putting down this proxy pylon right outside the back door. Wouldn't be surprised to see one come down much closer to the front door as well, so he can warp in with impunity to whichever entrance that he wants.
Now, TT1 and Capoch, we're dancing a little bit there with the Sentry and the Zealot. You'll see that the Destructible Rocks are down 160 hit points. That was the Zealot doing his best to get a head start before his shields went down. But the Sentry eventually was able to catch up to him enough times, and he backed off. But Capoch is making no effort whatsoever to hide his intentions. His opponent knows exactly what is going on, and it'll be interesting to see how TT1 responds, what he uses to defend. He does have 3 gates. There's the Robo facility, and, well, now we know what he's doing.
Yeah, it seems like he just wanted on this map more gateway units before he made that reach for the robotics facility, because he does realize that it's going to be a little bit tougher to defend here on Blistering Sands. He's not watching the correct entrance, though. He's going to go back over to the rocks right as they're about to fall down. His units are heading down in that direction, but he might not be able to force field this off in time if Capoch goes for it. But Capoch actually not going for it. He's just opening up the door so that it makes that threat of him having to defend both entrances. But TT1 managed to get his probe out, so he's looking around. He will be able to see what's going on. If TT1 could take control of the watchtower especially, that would be a huge deal. He'd be able to see the units of Capoch moving back and forth. But he's not able to do that. He's going to move forward, kills that probe, puts the hit on it, so TT1 thinks that he's heading over that direction, but now he's dodging back. Capoch is doing an excellent job of faking out TT1 on this map. And here he comes. He's completely up the ramp. He's not going to be able to be force fielded. He's going to ambush him right as he comes through the brush. He does force field just to prevent reinforcements, but here comes a big battle. Capoch has 4 work gates worth of units, and TT1 hasn't gotten that immortal out yet, so he is being forced back here. And now the reinforcements are coming in for Capoch. If this is the game where he's going to get the win, this is his best chance so far. This immortal pops out right in the heat of battle. This is really close.
Of course, the sentries of TT1 not helping that much. Unfortunately, they aren't able to use their force fields, but it is down to the wire. The Immortal is down. Force fields popping up for no apparent reason, and it looks like Capoch is just barely going to get this. He has the lead. He is forced to retreat, but he has a slight advantage in troops. If he can just kite these zealots a little bit better, he has that pylon inside to get reinforcements, and this Immortal is going to pop in very unfavorable territory. You'll see that TT1 is moving up just because he knows that Immortal's coming. He has to be there to defend it so it doesn't get ganked. Probes are off the line. That is a bad sign, but the Immortal is out. Capoch is forced to retreat. He is, however, poking back in. Doesn't want to lose his pylon. He is going to be able to catch these sentries. That is a huge blow. The sentries go down so fast. The Immortal is now exposed, out of shields. The probes are engaging again, but the Immortal is down. That was what he needed to keep alive. And this is just going to be tooth and nail, but I think Capoch does have a lead because he's killing off probes, continuing to warp in units. Another Immortal almost there, but Capoch is going to be able to get a pylon, it looks like. Yes, he does. The Immortal is out, well defended, but now TT1 is going straight for the probe line because his opponent refuses to engage. 4 units being reinforced.
Oh,
and they
nice
are
force field.
Beautiful force field. That could swing the battle in favor of TT1. He has that Immortal protected, is focusing down Stalkers, which is what it does best. But the army of TT1 is almost completely devastated, and Capoch has a very strong standing army. That force field's going down any moment. There they are, trying to engage. The force field's still up, still up. I think a new one went up. And there it goes. It is down. The sentries of TT1 dancing away, but they're just sentries. There are no other units but save a zealot. There it is. TT1, good game. Capoch successfully executes a 4-gate, and we're moving on to the next match. I'm sorry I've been talking nonstop for about 2.5 minutes. How was that?
Oh man, that was great, and it's exactly what he wanted to do. Was you could see he was doing a really good job of faking TT1 out. He was, making him think he was going for one entrance, and he'd turn around and hit the other one, and he kept going back and forth, making TT1 play that guessing game of which way did I go, which way did I go, and then he was able to get most of his forces up the ramp. He actually got all of them. It was the reinforcements that got force fielded out by TT1, and at that point, he'd done what he wanted to do at the beginning. But of course now, TT1 has the map choice. So he's going to have as much time to figure out what's the best anti-4-gate map he can think of. And that apparently is Xel'Naga Caverns.